Hi friends, today's topic is inflammation and repair. This is a long chapter, so we can divide it into three topics: acute inflammation, chronic inflammation and mediators, and tissue repair. We can deal with the first topic, that is acute inflammation. First of all, definition of inflammation. Inflammation is a beneficial host response to foreign invaders and necrotic tissue, but it may also cause tissue damage. There are 5 steps in a typical inflammatory reaction. First one is recognition of offending agent by the host cell. Second one is recruitment of the leukocytes and plasma proteins to the site of infection. Third one is destruction and elimination of offending substance, that is phagocytosis. Fourth one is reaction is controlled and terminated by various anti-inflammatory mediators. Fifth one is tissue repair. There are 2 types of inflammation, acute and chronic inflammation. Acute inflammation is an initial and rapid response, mainly neutrophils are involved in it. Chronic inflammation is a slow response and macrophages are involved in it. Causes of acute inflammation include infections, tissue necrosis, foreign bodies and immune reactions. Infections like bacterial, viral, fungal and parasitic infections. The microbial toxins will cause the infection. Tissue necrosis include ischemia, physical and chemical injury and trauma. Ischemia means reduced blood flow as in myocardial infarctions. Physical and chemical injury as in thermal injury, burn injury, irradiation and all. Foreign bodies like splinters, dirt, sutures and deposition of urate crystals as in gout, deposition of cholesterol crystals as in atherosclerosis. Immune reactions include hypersensitive reactions. Normally the immune reactions is for the protection of our body, but this protective immune response will damage the individual's own tissues, will lead to infections. That is hypersensitive reactions. Cardinal signs of inflammation include Calor, rubor, tumor, dolor and functional ELISA. Calor means heat, rubor redness, tumor swelling, dolor pain, functional ELISA loss of function. Steps in an acute inflammation. First step is recognition of microbes. It is by epithelial cells, tissue macrophages, dendritic cells, leukocytes and other cell types. It will express the receptors and sense the presence of microbes and necrotic cells. The circulating proteins also recognize the microbes that enters the blood. The main component of an acute inflammation is the reactions of blood vessels. It includes changes in vascular flow and caliber and increased vascular leakage. The initial transient response in an acute inflammation is vasodilation. It is mediated by histamines. This vasodilation of blood vessel will lead to increased blood flow, and this increased blood flow will lead to increased vascular permeability, which results in the outpouring of exudate into the extravascular tissue. The outpouring will at last result in edema. Why there is heat and redness? Because of the loss of fluid and the increased vessel diameter, more amount of red cells is concentrated in the small vessels, will lead to stasis of blood flow, and it will lead to engorgement of vessels in the slowly moving red cells, and it will appear externally as redness. Several mechanisms are responsible for the increased vascular leakage. It includes retraction of endothelial cells by histamine, bradykinin and leukotrienes. And vascular endothelial growth factor is also responsible for the increased vascular leakage. Not only the blood vessels but the lymphatic vessels also participate in the acute inflammation. Lymph flow is increased and this will help to drain the edematous fluid. Second step is leukocyte recruitment to the sites of inflammation. It includes 3 processes, that is adhesion, migration and chemotaxis. Adhesion. It is the attachment of leukocytes to the endothelial cells and it is mediated by complementary adhesion molecules like selectins and integrins. Initial weak interaction is by selectins. There are 3 types of selectins: E-selectin, P-selectin and L-selectin. E-selectin is in endothelial cells, P-selectin in platelets, L-selectin in leukocytes. Firm adhesion is by integrins. Integrins are the leukocyte surface proteins. Integrins contains ligands, and these ligands will produce signals, and these signals will lead to the cytoskeletal changes that arrest the leukocytes and firmly attach the leukocytes to the endothelial cells. Migration. After being arrested on the endothelial surface, leukocytes migrate to the vessel wall primarily by squeezing between the cells at the intercellular junctions. It is known as transmigration. Next is chemotaxis. Chemotaxis is leukocytes move into the tissues towards the site of injury, and it is known as chemotaxis. There are two types of attractants, exogenous and endogenous chemoattractants. It includes bacterial products, chemokines, components of complement system, leukotrienes and all. Chemoattractants are produced when there is infections or tissue damage. Leukocytes infiltrate varies with age of inflammatory response and type of stimulus. After 6 to 24 hours, as in acute inflammation, there will be neutrophil infiltrate. There will be more amount of neutrophil in the infiltrate. After 24 to 48 hours, there will be monocyte-derived macrophages. In the Pseudomonas infections, there will be more amount of neutrophils. In viral infections, the infiltrate may contain lymphocytes. In hypersensitive reactions, the infiltrate may contain lymphocytes, macrophages and plasma cells. In an allergic reaction, eosinophil infiltrate is seen. Third step is phagocytosis and clearance of offending agent. There are three sequential steps. First one is recognition and attachment. Second one is engulfment. Third one is killing and degradation. Recognition is by the phagocytic receptor. There are two types of receptors, Mannose receptors, scavenger receptors. Mannose receptor will recognize only the microbes, not the host cell. Scavenger receptors will bind and ingest the low density lipoprotein and variety of microbes. Next one is engulfment. The microbes will attach to the phagocyte receptor and it will form a pseudopod with the cytoplasmic extensions. It is known as phagosomes, and these phagosomes will attach lysosomes to form phagolysosomes. It will contain lysosomal enzymes and many granular contents to degrade the microbes. Killing and degradation is by reactive oxygen species, reactive nitrogen species, lysozymes and all. And there is proteins and granular enzymes in neutrophils and monocytes which also helps in killing. Neutrophil extracellular traps is also helps in degradation. Neutrophil extracellular traps are the extracellular fibrillar networks. They will concentrate the antimicrobial substance at sites of infection and prevent the spread by trapping microbes in the fibrils. Last step is termination of acute inflammatory response. It is by anti-inflammatory mediators like transforming growth factor beta and interleukin 10. Next topic is morphological patterns of acute inflammations. It includes serous inflammation, fibrinous inflammation, purulent inflammation, ulcers. Serous inflammation means the exudation of fluid into spaces created by injury to surface epithelia or into body cavities. The fluid is exudated into body cavities like peritoneum, pleura and pericardia. Fibrinous inflammation means fibrinous exudate is transferred. Fibrinous exudate is developed when vascular leakage is more. Purulent inflammation means there will be pus collection also. Pus consisting of neutrophils, liquefied debris of necrotic cells and edema fluid. Abscesses are the localized collection of pus. And the acute inflammation may also lead to ulcers. Ulcers means the shedding of the inflamed necrotic tissue and it will result in the local defect of the surface or organ. Outcomes of acute inflammation. If the noxious stimuli is eliminated, there will be decline of reaction and repair of damaged tissue. If it is persistent, it will lead to chronic inflammation. Thank you.